Welcome everybody. Pursuit here, today talking about steel improvised turrets and the explosion damage that they cause. I'm not going to be showing how they work. Might try that in another video, but this is just to show the explosion damage they cause, so you know how to safely put them on the ground, how to safely put them next to each other, how close to put them to walls, how close to put them to your colonists, where it's safe to stand. So we're going to go over several of those different factors. If you look on the architect menu here and you go to security, that's where I've gone, and you go to the steel turret, you can look at the info and it says that it has 140 health. You can also just click on a turret and it will say, okay, it's got 140 health. And now they cause varying different damage levels depending on what they explode next to. Next to a turret, if you blow them up, they will do 100 damage. So let's show that, for instance, with this demonstration here. And this will also show kind of how the explosion travels. Let's actually use the smaller damage tool. They have 140 health. So each time this thing gets hit, it's going to lose 10, as you can see. Now once we get down to 20, it's starting to explode. Now it can finish off itself. I'm paused right now, so nothing's going to happen, but it's showing you a warning that damage is going to happen. So I'm going to unpause, and we can watch it do its thing. Okay, so down to 20 damage, it blew up. It also caused damage in a radius around it, and the damage of that radius is demonstrated by these two wall units that I have right here. This one demonstrates things that will not be damaged, and inside that, just inside that border, is the one that I placed over here to show how far the damage actually goes. So let's bring up our damage tool again, and I'm going to use the 5,000 damage tool because we don't want to wait for the individual ones to happen. But it does the same effect. So we do that, you notice no damage indicators on this border like you'll see on the turrets. There's damage. Build this one up though, every single wall around there is damaged. So anything 1, 2, 3, that's how far we were away from the turret. Anything that's 3 away in a square, obviously minus the little corners here, so you can kind of tell how you can kind of predict how that's going to work for things that will be damaged. And these walls here, as you'll notice, they have 610 health and they're down to 310 health. So the damage is going to be 300 on the walls. Now for a granite wall, this could take 2 hits. Probably not, because they'd probably be being shot by, gunfire, and you'd probably end up losing the wall if 2 turrets blew up next to it. But it is much stronger than a granite wall, than a wooden wall. The wooden wall only has 112 health, and so let's go ahead and show what happens with each of those. Obviously, if this one took 300 health off of it, then you would think this wood wall would go, and you would be right, but let's just show it anyways. So if I blow this one up, the damage goes 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. It blows up that. Something that you might be questioning on it is, would it destroy a wall that second one over, which is why I've shown this demonstration of how the walls prevent damage. So if we keep blowing these up, okay, the turret blew up. This turret didn't blow up. This one took damage, and the wall behind it was destroyed. It's because this is a passable object. You can be shot over. It's not a totally impassable structure, so it does not block the explosion. On the other hand, say we look and we blow this one up, it blew up the wall there, but it did not damage the turret, so the wall absorbed the whole explosion. So from that we can also premise that this wall here will receive no damage, but this one will get destroyed if we blow this one up. Pretty straightforward, and it works all the time. Like I was saying, the blast damage area is 3 blocks. So if we blow these up along here, let's see, they were damaging each other until it had 3 spaces away, and then it did not damage it. So take that into consideration. I'm not going to blow this up right now because I don't want the lag on it. Maybe we'll show that towards the end. Something you might also want to consider when building your walls. You would think that steel would be better than stone. At least in my mind, I would think that. So a granite wall has 610 health. A steel wall only has 225, so it will not even survive one explosion of a turret. So, you know, don't waste your metal on it, your steel on it. Another concept with these turrets is how the explosion travels along the area. And the way that works is when an explosion happens, the explosion goes up and down first, and then goes to the side. And this right here will show a good demonstration of why this kind of a boundary would not work very well unless you took some special provisions to make sure which turrets blew up first. So let's go ahead and blow one up, and I will explain what has happened here. Okay, if we blow up this one right here, you'll notice no damage down here. Both of these were damaged, and you'll say, well, they're the same distance. What difference does that make? Why is it a problem? Well, the damage is recorded up and down first, and objects that are like this wall will block the damage from going through. So it travels here and then it travels here. Well, this absorbed it, so it doesn't go through here. This one went up, because up and down is first. So it went up, nothing to block it there, and then it went over. So it damaged this one. Continued to go up and went over again. So both of these turrets were damaged as if there were no protection on them whatsoever. And both of these were fine. Let me show you another demonstration over. Next one over. Blowing this one up. Okay. This turret is closer. These turrets are the same distance from this block, but you can see that this one looks a little bit better protected with this wall, and this one is obviously not protected. But it is down below, whereas these ones down below didn't get damaged. But the difference is that it's going to go over, then down, and then over, and it will blow it up. So if we, well, not blow it up, but damage it. The one right immediately across from the wall was not damaged. This one over here was damaged. So I hope you kind of understand how that works. And then just to show it with the wooden walls here, just for kicks. Both of these wooden walls were destroyed. These wooden walls survived, however, though, because of the way that it blocks the damage from being translated down, the same as it did with the stone blocks. It went down, destroyed this, but since it was a blocking wall, it still protected this turret and protected this block. And going the other way, it went ahead and destroyed this wall and then up. And I want to say that I've explained why this is, but I'm not sure best how to explain why this wall didn't get any damage. So maybe we should just put one more demonstration here with a, let's see, structure, wooden walls. If we put some turrets, like so, 1, 2, 3, so it should damage that wall there, right? And it does. This one, on the other hand, because it had to go through this wall first, this absorbed the damage that would have traveled up and over to destroy that one. You can kind of see how it works. I think it's just difficult to explain. So take my word for it. Take the demonstration's word for it, because that'll show you how it works. This one... Oh, let's not bring that up yet. This is a demonstration of, and I'm going to cause some lag here. which I said I shouldn't, but I'm going to do it for this demonstration purpose. All of these turrets along here have less than 100 health. So they are at the point that if another turret blows up next to them, they will receive enough damage to destroy them. And the question that I'm answering here is, will all these turrets be destroyed, or will it simply blow up the ones in its little radius and then stop there? Well, as we finish the lag, it blows them all up, because the damage for each one blowing up is continued along the line. If the turret blows up, it will continue to pass the damage along. If it does not blow up, then obviously there's no damage to pass on. Pretty straightforward, but something that may come up as a question. Entities, I don't know if you call them entities, but things such as walls, stone walls like these, are not the same as stone walls like these. This has 610 health. This has 450 health. So you say, well, this has more health, right? So it's stronger. Well, no, it's not. Not when it's considered with turret damage, and probably not with anything else. So if you blow this up, it only did 100 damage. So you would take... It could take 3 turret explosions before it would finish off this wall. But this would only take, on the third one, it would definitely be toast. So, you know, different things, the health isn't always an indicator of how much damage is going to be done. Just take that into consideration. Objects which are able to be shot over or through also do not provide adequate coverage from explosions. So, demonstrating with a tree, a stone, rubble, and a sandbag, that's what happens with these. So, the tree did not prevent damage, and I'll show you it didn't prevent any in a minute. This one, again, did not prevent damage. All of these have lost 100 health. So, turrets will not be protected, walls will not be protected, nothing will be protected past these sandbags and stones. And you can walk over these, so it kind of makes sense that it wouldn't protect. And the trees are fairly durable too, it only lost 50 health. So you could blow up it would take 6 times of blowing up a turret to destroy this tree. So, you know, very sturdy. But not protective against explosion. And I don't think it's not even protective against gunfire. So, you know, don't think that you want to make your base out of wood, out of trees, because that's not exactly going to be very helpful. Something else. Let's see, where should we go next? Let's look at the power lines here. Something I was kind of disappointed about power lines. I like the new feature they've added where you can add a power line on top of a wall, or a wall on top of a power line. So as you see, this is just a wall. This is a conduit wall. So I've alternated walls and conduit walls along here. And then we've just got some power conduits by themselves. So let's go ahead and finish off these by adding some power. And I'm using God mode, so it does it automatically. So it looks the same. You know, you look at it, you say, oh, great. It's all set up now. I've got my great conduit walls going. They're nice and sturdy and no problem, but they're technically still a granite wall with a power conduit and a granite conduit wall. And why that's important to note, I'll show you in just a second here, but let's do the same thing the other way around. We put the power lines on top of the walls, the power conduits on top of the walls. Now let's put the walls on top of the power conduits to show both that there's no difference between how they work, is what I'm trying to get at. So we look at the power again. They look exactly the same. All of this looks exactly the same. But these are, again, walls and power conduits. And it doesn't matter which one you put down first. It doesn't really change the way that they work. And I will demonstrate that by blowing up a couple of turrets here. So let's put down a couple more turrets. We'll put one on each side, so they don't affect each other's blasting, and let's go ahead and blow them both up. So, what would you think would happen? Well, you'd think that that conduit wall would be protected, but it's not. It's not at all. The one with the conduit wall itself still has the power line. The one that had the power line and the conduit wall separate, all three of these were separate ones. The power conduit was destroyed because they don't have any health. They're very low on health, as a matter of fact. If you look at them, let's see if it even shows their health. Health is 80. So not even close to enough health to survive an explosion. This one, on the other hand, though, that was right next to the explosion was a granite conduit wall. And the conduit survives because it is part of the wall rather than a separate structure in the same space. So be careful when you're building your turrets that you put the conduit walls next to it, or put the power conduits behind the walls, because as you notice, the ones that were behind the walls survived. Don't just run it through the wall and expect it's all going to be okay, because it's not. If anything, double up your walls and put it in the back wall. That's what I would really recommend. Okay, on to the next demonstration, and this is taking a while to cover all of it, but I think it's important that each of these are covered specifically. Based on the fact that we learned how the transfer of the explosion goes, that an explosion goes up and down first, you may want to consider when making your base defenses for how things will be damaged. So as you'll see here, this turret right here, the explosion will go up and down first. So if this turret explodes, these will not be injured. Because this wall will stop it, and then it will go to the side. However, and then it can't go to the side, is what I should say. However, these walls, and these turrets right here, if they explode, they will destroy this turret, or damage it anyways. So, if you're making a base defense, what I'm suggesting here is that if you're coming from, your opening is from a side, on a corridor, that you take into account that these turrets be covered up, so they cannot be exploded. Granted, you could throw a grenade or something and blow them up, but you will have to set it up so that if they're coming from the side, that either you do it like this, or you could also move the turret down one and it shouldn't blow up this one. I'm showing several different directions here. So if you're coming from the side, you want to either block this or move the turret down one more. And if you're coming from the bottom, make sure that a turret has a placement so that it is not directly, you couldn't put the turret right here or else it wouldn't be exploded like this one will. So let's do a demonstration here and show how this is actually going to work. Let's see, which one should we blow up first, because I don't want to reset up everything. If this turret right here is damaged, what would you think would happen? Well, let me tell you, this one will not be damaged and this one will. And why is that? Because it goes down, it goes over, and it's blocked, so it's not going to get damaged. This one, however, though, up and down is first, so it goes up, it goes over, and this one will be damaged. So let's just show that. Okay, just like I said it would happen. Pretty good. Now, remember that up and down is first, so whereas this one went up and damaged this, the same will not happen if this one gets destroyed. It will not just go to the next corner of the over, it goes down first and then over. So this wall will prevent damage from happening. Let's go ahead and blow that up. See, no damage whatsoever right there. And the same goes for, let's blow this one up. No damage right there because it went blocked and then over. So if you're putting your turrets, your best option is to try and, I think, not place them cornerly next to each other, but try and give some kind of L-shape configuration, you know, 2 down, 1 over, so that they cannot damage each other. That's probably a fairly safe configuration to prevent the turret damage. And then I just put this thing on here so I could show you a few explosions and show that it actually does work the way that I'm saying it does. It's probably going to give me a little bit of lag here, but once again, it doesn't matter which side you do it from. The up and down causes damage, the sideways does not. Up and down causes damage, 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 up and down causes damage. I'm just showing you all of them to show that it's actually true. Pretty straightforward. Nothing, because down was blocked, and both, because both directions were blocked. In case you're wondering, there's the rest of it. And heck, let's just blow it all up, huh? Close enough. Close enough to all of it. So, getting a little bit of lag from these steel over there. And lastly, let's show what happens as colonists are considered. And I will show this part last because I don't want these guys all complaining and having issues. We're going to show you what happens with cover fire. Now, if I just destroy these walls, deconstruct, deconstruct, this will make it so that these guys, when I unpause it, will begin to place themselves in cover fire. So there you go. They have placed themselves closer to these turrets. These guys too. But as you may or may not guess, because it's not exactly straightforward, they are technically still in this space right here. They are not in this space. They are in this space, as far as explosions are concerned. So don't think that these guys are standing right next to this turret, or that these guys are standing right next to this turret. But what will matter is the up and down rule. So up and down, there's walls on both of these spots. So what would you think would happen? Well, these two guys, even though they're standing right smack dab next to this turret, will not be injured. These two, however, will be injured, and they would be injured even if they weren't in that area, because up goes first and then over. So let's go ahead and show it so you can actually believe what I say. Okay, this looks like bad cover, doesn't it? It really looks terrible, but nothing, not a scratch on them. Look at their health, perfectly fine. Oh, that's an old gunshot, so ignore that. But no damage whatsoever from that turret, nothing. These guys, on the other hand, the guinea pigs, both of them smack. They were the same distance, but the way the explosion travels does make a difference. These guys, oh, they're all shredded. Shred, shred, shred. Look, they're still both standing. Good for them. So do not count on wall coverage unless you can predict the up and down rules. Then, you know, by all means, do what you can. This is a great defense. If you have a turret there and a wall up or down from it, and you're standing on this side of it, to the right or left of it, then great. To the east or west of it, I guess I should say. North, south, east, west. Then by all means try that. Now, the rules for the stuff up here that I showed of how the transfer of the explosion works, and how it's shown here, it's pretty uniformly whether it's blocks or people. So sorry all you poor colonists who are going to complain here in a minute. Test purposes only. It's only a simulation. No actual colonists were harmed in the making of this demonstration. Boom! And boom. So, like I said, these walls prevented damage to all of these colonists, including the colonists. This one right here, she is fine. Well, she's blind, but she's fine. That had nothing to do with the explosion. But it was blocked from the damage going down, and then it couldn't get her from over. But this guy, on the other hand, same distance from the explosion, but because of the way it's transferred, it went up, nothing to block it, so I went over, and he is just shredded all over the place. Poor guy. The same thing goes with this side, so you know that it doesn't matter. Up and down are the same, and left and right are the same. I put one on the upper side and one on the lower side. Same thing happened here. The explosion was blocked by the up, didn't go to this guy whose health, he has an old stab scar. So, you know, nothing from the turret though. But this one over here, well, she's incapacitated because she was just in a terrible location. Her right leg was torn off. Oh, ouch. So, just some concepts to take into account when you are placing your turrets, if you want them to be effective, and if you don't want the explosions, which will happen. You will get turret explosions. Things to consider when you're placing your turrets, though. So, before I finish, I said I was going to blow this up, so let's blow it up. Where should we go? Top, bottom, left, right? How about one on the top and one in the center? Oh, and one more to finish them all off because they're pretty well damaged. And yeah, you don't want this either because of the lag. So, thanks for watching. Oh, look, it's still lagging here. Get out of the view and it'll fix it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please let me know so by giving me a like. And feel free to comment and subscribe for future content. And I will see you in the next one. Now get on with your pursuit.